Hi, and welcome to Get It Done Home Repairs. If you're coming back to see how the upper cabinet hardware is put on, welcome back. If not, I'm going to show you today how to install the upper cabinet hardware, whether you're going to put on something like a button, sort of like this, a little knob, or if you're going to put a door handle itself on there, like the one as we put on the lower cabinets, which are the ones that look sort of like this, if you're going to install this kind. But today we're going to talk about installing this kind, the little knob we're going to be putting on. Now there's different tools that you can buy out there so that you can actually try to get it centered in there. I have two different ones, and both of them are not going to work for this application. The pieces you buy are sort of like this here. You'll buy something like this or like this, and you'll put them on there, and it has different hole sizes on it, or the button size through the middle right here, which will actually center it over it. But in this case, it's not going to work for us, because I want to get it dead center right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure over this way, and I'm going to measure up this way, and find out the height and the width and divide it by 2, and then we're going to put it directly in the center. Now this piece is meant to go on the corner just like this. It touches against the bottom and it touches against the top, and then you can put it in here where you want to. But as you can see, these are a little bit too high and they just won't work for this application. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use any kind of a template, because the template, as I said, is not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually take these, put them on the side, and we're going to take a piece of tape. As you know, black is a tough color because you can't see where you're going to make a mark on there, and we need to measure exactly so we get it exact. So what we're going to do is just going to take a piece of painter's tape here. You just take a piece of tape like this, and you take it and you put it over the area where you're going to make your measurement. Just stick it on here like that so that you see exactly where you're going to put your marks. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just take our ruler, and we're going to measure how thick this piece is here, and then we're going to measure how thick this piece is here. We're going to divide it in half, and then we're going to measure in half that thickness. I know the thickness is 1 3/16 and 1 3/16 because it's actually 2 3/8 the thickness of the wood right here. This is 2 3/8. This is 2 3/8. We're going to cut it in half, and it's going to be 1 3/16. So that's what we're going to do. So let's put our mark on here, 1 3/16, so we know exactly where we're going with this. I'm just going to do this a little different because... Alright, so we're going to come along here. We're going to go 1 1 2 3/16. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. 1 3/16. Okay, now after we have it measured off, the 1 3/16 that we need, 1 3/16 up, 1 3/16 over. I will tell you this, there's a saying they have, measure twice, cut once. The reason for that is because we want to make sure we have that hole exactly where we want it. Because once you drill the hole in there, there's no going back. You can't take away a hole without making it visible. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we have this all marked up. The first thing we're going to do is the size drill bit that we need. I'm going to show you. This is the size drill bit that we need. As you can see, this is the thickness of the bolt that's going to be going through the cabinet. But the problem is when you take a drill bit like this, and you take this drill bit and you put it on the cabinet here, and you start to drill with it, this bit walks around a little bit. It may not stay exactly where you want it. If you put this on there and you power it up, it may move a 1/16 of an inch or whatever up and down. It's not going to be exactly dead center. So what I do is I just take a very small drill bit such as this, and then I put a small pilot hole in it and drill it through, and then we'll make it a little bit bigger. So all right, let's do that. Now we're going to put this on here. We're on our spot exactly. Give it a little bit of a push. And what that does is it makes a little tiny dimple for the drill bit, and we're going to go very lightly. Now just when you get it started, open the cabinet, because if you try to drill this through, you may wind up damaging the frame of the cabinet. So open the door and then drill very slowly through. And the drill works better if you drill and then pull it out and let the filings fall off, and then you drill again. See how the drill bit comes through the back? You don't want that drill bit hitting into the cabinet frame by any chance. All right, so now we have our hole drilled. We are going to just slightly enlarge it just a little bit. I use a drill bit that's a little bit thicker so we can make a little bit bigger hole. When you drill through, make sure you don't hit the cabinet with this part of the chuck itself, because you will damage the cabinet. Okay, and last thing we're going to do now, we're going to make it the hole size that we need now. And we're going to go very slowly. Make sure your hand is not in the back so you don't hurt yourself. Okay, so now we've drilled through the cabinet all together. In the back of the cabinet, let me bring it over here so you can hopefully see this. Can you see that? Yeah. You see the back of the cabinet right here? We're going to just actually take a tool like this. This is to remount the hole, or to countersink the hole. We're just going to use this to take any of the wood burrs off the end that actually stick through. So we're just going to do that just by hand. You don't need to have it on the drill. You just turn it. Get it nice and smooth like that, and it's nice and clean like that. And then we'll take our tape off. And you can see the hole that we drilled is a perfect hole. There's no chipping. It didn't walk around and damage it at all. We're going to put our screw through the back. We'll put our knob on like this. We'll just catch it until it starts to turn. And then we'll grab our Phillips head screwdriver and we'll tighten it up. And that's it. The knob is done. So again, we wanted the knob center of this one here and center of this one here, and that's exactly where it is. All right, so that's it. We're going to do the rest of the cabinets here. We'll do the rest of the cabinets over there, and that's it. We're all done. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.